Hey YouTube, Joe Kyser here. We're going to legit check some shoes today. Stay tuned. So we're cranking out some content on this end, and hopefully on that end you guys are watching. I've definitely noticed a difference in the metrics, but not only that, I noticed a difference in the amount of interactions I'm having with people on YouTube. It's getting to be more and more and more. And that's awesome. I love that. Like, that's one of the things I definitely love about YouTube is the social interaction with people. So here's what we're going to do today. I picked the Nike Defiant Couture, whatever you want to call it. I picked that to legit check today. Some of you guys might be thinking, well, why? Well, you know what? There are people out there that actually would like to purchase this shoe. And I happen to notice that there are some fake ones out there. So we're going to have to take a look at these shoes closely. And we're going to have to figure out how can we legit check these. Authenticity of a shoe is probably the most important thing that I think about when it comes to selling and buying shoes, either or. Of course, I don't want to be the one to sell somebody some fake shoes. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be on the pedestal. I don't want anything to do with it. So I'm going to do anything in my power to make sure that never happens. It could be detrimental. I mean, if you're running a legit business and you let one get by, you know, if your business is smooth and you're good and you got a lot of people in your corner and you handle it properly, you're not going to have any issues. I mean, just think about that for a second. I know a lot of you guys understand what I'm talking about. It seems like there's been a lot of people that have let the fakes go by. Some of them we heard about, some of them we haven't. Some we just want to ignore. I hear all the time anymore like StockX. Probably because they're the most popular. They're probably getting the most sales out of any reseller. So they're probably going to have the most fakes that are going to get by. But we seem to ignore some of the other platforms, because when you search for, I don't think I should really be naming any. But when you search for these other platforms and you search, put in the platform, put sold fake, you're going to find videos. The videos are there. There are people claiming other places that they're purchasing fakes as well. I guess it's about eliminating the risk, right? So what's the number one thing you can do to eliminate the risk? Well, shop with someone who has history, who has reputation, who is honest, and not only honest, that you can trust that they know what they're talking about with the shoe too. That they have people that can authenticate that shoe before it even gets to you. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to be rocking foo-foo, right? And the second thing you can do is you can educate yourself. There's real simple things that you can learn, and we're gonna talk about it today, that'll help you decide whether or not that shoe's going to be real or fake. For myself, I've had so many shoes come through my hands. Yeezys, Jordan 1's, 4, 3s, 4s, 6s, 7s, you name it, they come through the hands. I've looked at so many. I see how they're constructed. I see how they're put together. I see the tongue heights. I notice the differences, okay? I can almost tell right away on a lot of the fakes. But there's some good ones out there that you got to get deep into. You got to get deeper into that. I'm fortunate enough because I have that. Now, there's other things you can look for that are going to be a certainty. All right, right away you're going to know, hey, there's a red flag. Pretty much when I get a red flag, here's what happens. When I get that red flag, I either look for a second opinion. If I think maybe, I'm like, might be real though, you know, it could just be flaws. I look for a second opinion. As somebody that I know and trust and I know is not going to lead me wrong if they don't know the answer. Maybe we can figure it out together. Okay? The second thing I would do is just reject it. If I have that doubt and I can't get that as second opinion, nobody can for sure help me out, I'm just going to reject that shoe. That's it. I'm just going to say, you know what, there's a red flag here. That's not even going to get by. Let's over and done with. I picked these because of the fact that really no two are alike. When it comes down to it, when you inspect it shoe for shoe, no two are alike. Basically what we can do is we can start with the box. Okay? Now, the box will give you some good red flags. Sometimes the box will tell you, hey, this isn't the legit box, period, whatsoever. You know, what's inside's probably going to be fake. I mean, I've seen instances where it's been replacement boxes and real sneakers and replacement boxes. The boxes were phony. I've seen where people have said it. They've disclosed it right up front. This isn't the real box, but the sneakers are real. I've seen it where people try to just sneak it by or didn't know they were fake. The box was fake, blah, blah, blah. Now, there are some myths out there, and we're going to go over them real quick, too. I'm not going to say we're going to bust them. We're not going to confirm them, but we're going to talk about this. I'm not claiming I'm necessarily Mr. Know-It-All expert, and I've had the most shoes ever come through my hands, and I can just spot a fake from a mile away. I'm not making any claims like this. I'm going over my protocol, okay? I'm not sure exactly what StockX's protocol is. I'm not sure exactly what GOAT's protocol is. You know, I know what Joe Kyser's protocol is, and I know what I do. And I know what I do pretty much works. I mean, it has to. It's worked so far, all right? And I care. I care a lot. I don't want to make a purchase of a fake, right? And I'm not so much trusting somebody else, especially when it comes to business and my money. I have to learn this stuff myself. So I take a lot of time to figure out what's what, what's real, things I hear on the internet, like this was fake because of this, this, and this. Sometimes I've heard the most ridiculous reasons when somebody's legit checking a shoe to say that shoe was fake. One thing we're going to start off with, this happens to be 2 boxes. They're both Coutures, 2 different sizes, a 13 and a 12. One came from Nike, one came from Sneakers and Stuff, okay? The one that came from Sneakers and Stuff is this one. How do I know without looking at the receipt? There is no suggested retail price here. The one that I got from Sneakers and Stuff, for some reason, the raffle, it was $185. There was no shipping or anything. It came to $185 total. It is what it is. So I assume that's why they ripped that suggested retail off. Does it look like there was ever a little hangy thing there to rip off? No. Okay. I've gotten boxes right from Nike without that suggested retail bar. What I can tell you, and I know for a fact, is the old boxes, the old Nike boxes, like I just sold the oldest dead stock sneaker I had in my collection. It was from 2008. That was one complete sticker. Okay? I'm going to give you a dead giveaway for a phony box. So here we are in this box. And you understand what I'm talking about, the suggested retail? See how this little flappy thing, right? Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's in USD, too. I actually have a Canadian pair that's in Canadian. So, this thing flaps up, and you can tear it off. It's not a sticker, okay? It's not a sticker. This is a sticker. This part's not a sticker. It just hangs there. If you happen to get a box and it looks exactly like this, all this looks exactly like this, and this is stuck down and that's a sticker, guess what? Well, most likely that shoe box is going to be fake. Alright, so that's going to be red flag number 1. They do not come with the suggested retail price flap thingy as a sticker. It does not come like that. It does not come like that. As far as one of these labels that doesn't have it, it's very possible. It's very possible it had it. It was torn off and you just can't tell it had it. That's very possible. I've torn them off myself and then taken a loop, and it's got a little light on it, and I've looked to see if I could tell if it was ripped off, and guess what? I couldn't tell if it was ripped off or not. So it's not the best. You know, I wouldn't say, well, it was fake and this is one of the reasons. I would say it would be a red flag, okay? Red flag, we can go with that. Let's take a look inside the box. Let's take a look at this shoe. Let's see what else we can come up with. Another myth. Here's another myth I heard a lot. We'll go in closer. Check this out. This is something I've heard talked about a lot. Okay, here's another myth we're going to debunk right now. And it's about this stitch right here. Okay. I've heard if this stitch isn't above this Nike sign, that if it collides with the Nike sign, that corner, that the shoe's fake. So see how that corner is above the Nike sign? And there's the other side. That corner is above the Nike sign. Let's go to these mids right here. See how that corner collides with the Nike sign? See how that corner collides with the Nike sign? Right? It's not above it. Okay, now you're going to say, well, they're mids. Mids probably do that. These came right from Nike now. Okay, let's get another pair of shoes. Jordan 1's, like we were just looking at. Okay, now this is the same exact pair of shoes. Right? These are the Homage to Home Happy Halves on dead stock. These are my personal pair. Collides with the Nike sign. Above the Nike sign. Wait till you guys see this. Almost collides with the Nike sign. And see this one, the other side. Let's look at the other side of this one, which goes above the Nike sign. Can we guess what it's going to be? Above the Nike sign. Wait, what? Alright guys, so this is the same pair of shoes here. Check it out. Same pair of shoes that came together in the same box. And that stitch is in totally different places. This is why that's not the best way in the world to authenticate your Jordan. Alright? Because of that stitch. Don't look at that stitch and try to think that stitch is going to tell you, the height of it is going to tell you whether or not it's authentic or not. It could be in all different places. Believe me. Proof is in the pudding. You just saw it. That's not the only pair of Homage to Homes that I have. I have other pairs and they look like that. So I don't want to hear, well, my pair don't look exactly like that. I've had so many shoes come through my hands. I know by looking at them. I already know. When I hear this, I go, no, you're wrong. I already knew. I didn't even have to question myself because this is something I've noticed before. Okay? So don't use that as, yeah, maybe you want to use it as quality. Maybe your pair's better because it's above the check mark. I'll buy that. It's fine. Whatever. Go ahead. You can have that. I'm not going to take that as it not being authentic. I'll tell you what you can look for with that stitching is whether or not it's a 90-degree angle where it meets, and if the stitching's straight, and if the stitching itself is equal, if every stitch is equal, okay, that makes a big difference. The very first thing I look for, right, as soon as I pull the shoe out, especially a Jordan 1, with the sole, let's take a closer look right here. So with the sole, on the cheapo foo-foos, what I've noticed is right here in this corner, where this meets the upper part of the shoe, a lot of times you'll have like a little crease or a little fold or a little bubble. On the real ones, when you get them brand new, you will not have that. Alright, there will be no little space in between. It's going to be a smooth ride all the way through. Let me show you another pair here. See that? See that where this meets at? It's from that strap going down into there. Right? It's smooth. There's no crease right here. You can see the difference. Yes, you can see the difference. But there's no crease. There's no fold. Right away you can look at it and go, okay, it's either flush or it's not. If it's not flush, throw it back home, throw it away, do whatever you're going to do with it. Like that's how a pair of Keds would be put together, you know what I mean? But not Jordan. That's like the most obvious thing besides the shape. As far as shape goes, the height of the tongue. You have the stitching here that goes right here, right? It's pretty much going to be lined up with the top of the shoe. Just like this. Boop, boop, boop. Or pretty close, depending on what size you have and what's Jordan 1. But these ones here, all the ones I have, they all line up pretty perfect. Alright, it's not going to be taller. It's not going to be equal. It's while there's no laces, okay, and you pull it out. Once you put laces in, you go to pull it out, it's going to look like it's a little bit lower than what it is. And if you lace it all the way up, it's going to come to perfect height. It's going to be flush. But without the laces, you can pull it out. You can definitely line it up with that bottom stitch line. Okay? So they're basic shapes. A lot of times when I look at them head on, you know, I can just tell. I can just tell from the width of the tongue sometimes. I mean, there's lots of dead giveaways for me. But that specifically right there, that's what I do. I peel it back and I go, huh, does that line up or not? Like, how tall is this tongue? That's how I like to look at it, to figure it out real quick for the shape. Now, looking further into it. You know, sometimes you get red flag, red flag, red flag. I always go through all these steps, though. I don't skip any of them. Never skip steps. Skip steps, that's kind of when you're going to be in trouble. You're going to want to go around the whole entire shoe, and you're going to want to look. Look at everything I'm telling you. The stitching itself, alright? Let's come back in close. I want to show you this. Okay, now the stitching itself, it's going to be evenly spaced from the edges, and the double stitches are going to have an even space between the whole double stitch all the way around, especially on the turns. Every turn should be evenly spaced. Normally that's where they mess it up at, would be on turns, like here where they turn. See how that's all evenly spaced, evenly spaced, evenly spaced? Typically, like right here, it'd be screwed up. It would get like fatter, then thinner. And then on the ends, say like right here, typically like both ends would hit each other. I mean, it would be horrible. But the stitching is a telltale sign. And you can see this has got lots of stitching that goes around and around and around. And you see how all this is even? See all that stitching's super even. Especially around the turns. Around that turn, around this turn. See it? How it's even? It's even to the edge. The same amount of space. Alright? Look at it. Even, 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 even. It's all even. All of it. Around this turn. Even, even, even. Alright, now let me show you a couple pictures here of examples I saw recently on YouTube of shoes that weren't authentic and the stitching was just brutal. This is what to expect with the fake one. Check this out. Alright, so you can see there on the turn, it's not even. There as well, it's not even. Stitches are different sizes. Right there looks horrible. And there's another example. It's just not even. It goes down into a point. The back of the shoe, all the threads are a different size. Alright, you see that? You see how the stitching was all uneven in certain spots? On the turns, it's not even. I mean, that's what I'm talking about there. That's how you could tell real from a fake without a doubt. Check the stitching out. You're going to want to check out the stitching around the shoe. You're going to want to look at it. Is it straight? Does it look good? Do all the little loops inside the sole look like they're good? Or is the stitching flat where it's laying against the sole? And you take a real close look to the stitching. See here when you look in real close? See the space of the stitching? Each stitch is equal length. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. See how they're all equal length? It's not like a big one, a small one, a medium one, a big one, a small one, a big one. No, they're all the same size stitch. That's going to be an authentic Jordan. All the same size stitch. Here's a wonderful way to legit check. And it's not always the right way. And you might not even know what you're smelling for unless you've smelled a fake before. Put your nose in there and see what's that smell like. I mean, that smells like fresh powder, baby Jordan. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. It's the Jordan 1's smell. It's good, boy. I heard people say they're smelled. I have a couple pairs of these. I mean, none of them really smelled. Maybe a little bit more of that smell, maybe because of the finish they have on the shoe. I don't know, but a fake one's gonna smell like glue. It's gonna smell like some of that tacky rubber cement crap you used to use in school. It's gonna have that wicked glue smell to it. That's what it's gonna smell like. Now, I've seen Authentics that have had some sort of smell to them. So I'm saying it's not always a perfect, only in combinations with other things you could take the smell into account. If the shoe reeks, oh man, that shoe reeks. Normally I just reject it. I'm not even going to play games with it. I can say I got a pair of Pumas that came right from Puma and they reek like glue. It was a shoe that I would have rejected. It's probably something maybe we could talk about. I don't know. Unfortunately, sometimes on the front of these Jordans, they don't do such a great job trimming the front of these up here. I've seen people complain about that, and it's something I can't disagree on, that they don't do a great job all the time. It so happens these ones I have here are trimmed up really good. I have a pair of the Sports Illustrateds here, and the front of these are trimmed up horrible. You would think that these were fake because of how they did that, but unfortunately that is Jordans. It's kind of like the toss-up. Am I going to get ones that are or aren't perfectly cut and seamed at the front here? So, I mean, beware for that. Really, with the fake ones, a lot of times they look kind of wide. If I looked at the front without the laces in, this part would look kind of wide. And I take a closer look, like those shoes I just showed, the white ones, the stitching wouldn't be even. When you take a close look, you can tell. And it's like that with anything else. I sell pocketbooks too. Jen goes and gets me pocketbooks from Goodwill and stuff, and I have to legit check those. And how much do I really know about pocketbooks? Not all that much. But I can tell you a good one from a fake one. I can certainly tell you that much. And if I don't know, I find out. I get a second opinion. I don't sell it unless I know. And that's what's really important here. If you're a seller, don't sell it unless you know. What's even more important, I think, is if you're a buyer, don't buy it unless you know. Now, I can understand buying it from Nike, going to be pretty trustworthy, but like any place else, if it's not the manufacturer, legit check that puppy, You know what it is? You know what the fakes smell like? They smell, I know exactly what they smell like. You ever seen that store called Payless? Yes, the fakies smell like Payless. Payless minus the leather, just the glue part of the Payless. That's what it smells like. Well, guys, we'll move into more legit checks of different shoes, various items, clothing. I could walk you through legit checks of just about anything you could imagine. I mean, it's something I do. It's important that I know it, and I want to give you the information on what I know. If I don't know it, I can help you figure it out. Drop me a line anytime if you're ever having a problem. Instagram, I like Instagram. My Instagram's JKYSER23. Hit me up. Come check me out. Like some of my pictures. Give me a follow. I'll do the same back for you. Send me that DM. Alright? That's about it on these guys. I think once you get past those checks there, if everything's looking Gucci, you should be good to go. If you have any questions, though, like I said, ask me. Send the picture over. If there's any doubt in your mind, Let's check it out. Let's see. Well, like I said, that's about all I got. I'm telling you, if it gets passed through that check-in with the stitching and the sole and the corner part and the box, and you put everything into account, and it gets past all that, it's probably real. It's probably real. When in doubt, reach out. Guys, have a good day, have a good night, have a good whatever it is, wherever you're at. I will definitely see you in the next video. Joe Kyser, over and out. Peace.